Hello and welcome to VR Reviews. Since I did the Yu-Gi-Oh! Collection thing a week or so ago, I figured I'd do the same thing with my comic collection, especially since my comic collection is much smaller than it used to be. I sold probably over 75% of it, because I just don't feel like collecting comic books anymore. But I kept some of the cool stuff. I'm going to start with my stack here, which is like key issue-esque things. Some of them are legitimate key issues, and some of them are just more stuff that I just felt like keeping, but didn't go in with the runs of other stuff that I have. So I'll cover this stuff first, and then I'll go into more sections of the same title and stuff like that. So starting off, we have Amazing Spider-Man 300, which is First Venom. It's a pretty important one there. We have this issue of Batman. I also have the follow-up issue on the back. It's the back-breaking cover. It's just a cool cover, and it's a part of a pretty relevant Batman storyline, although I don't have the whole thing in comic format. This is Captain Marvel number 26, which is first Thanos cover. He's right there over there in the corner in that window there. Another Captain Marvel 33. This is the first like big full cover. It's also a cool cover. He's like fighting Captain Marvel and stuff. This is a reprint of first Fin Fang Foom, back whenever he was orange and stuff. It's also a fairly old issue as well. It's a 12-cent. This is second Galactus and second Silver Surfer. Fantastic Four 49. It's also first cover for both of them. This is first Claw. Fantastic Four 56. First cover. I think he appears as Ulysses S. Claw, but this is like the first proper Claw appearance. This is Fantastic Four 65, which is first Ronan the Accuser. Right there. Marvel Spotlight number 5, which is first Ghost Rider. It's in really rough shape, but it is first Ghost Rider. This is just a comic from the recent-ish Hulk run. The only reason I kept it is because it's signed by Jeff Loeb, so that's kind of important. This is the second print version of first Cable. This is first Deadpool. This is Silver Surfer number 3, which is first Mephisto, and also the first cover. It's a very cool cover, as a matter of fact. This is just Simpsons Comics number 1. Nothing too special there. This is just a Spider-Man comic that has Thanos on it that I think looks cool. That's about all there is to that one. This is Spider-Man 2099 number 1, which is first appearance of Spider-Man 2099, obviously, and also a cool cover. This is Static number 1, which is first appearance of Static, or Static Shock. Got Tales to Astonish number 91, which is first cover for Abomination and second appearance of Abomination. We've got the whole Thor run that has the first Beta Ray Bill story in it here, which starts with 337. This is the Spider Armor issue with Spider-Man number 100. It looks cool, and it's like first Spider Armor, so it's cool. This is X-Men number 12, which is first Juggernaut. This is X-Men number 13, which is second Juggernaut. And this is X-Men number 14, which is first Sentinels. So that is my stack of key issue-esque things. There's some pretty neat stuff in there. Nothing amazingly valuable, but some pretty cool stuff if you're into the things that are in those books. Alright, let's move on to some other stuff. Alright, this next section is my Man-Thing collection, starting with Adventure into Fear number 10, which is first comic appearance of Man-Thing. I think these are all front and back. And I think I have all the Adventure into Fear that include Man-Thing. So I'll just flip through these real quick. I'm not going to linger too much on individual issues. Stuck together a little bit. But I rather like Man-Thing, and I ended up getting almost everything that was Man-Thing related. This starts Giant Size Man-Thing. I have all 5 issues of that. And then we get into Infernal Man-Thing. I think these are in alphabetical order. I have all 3 issues of that. And then the first Man-Thing series. I don't have quite all of these. I think I'm missing... I might be missing somewhere close to half of them, and then I think I've got all of the rest of the series that involve Man-Thing. Unless they've put out something recently that I haven't heard about, which is probably not very likely. But I am missing some of the first volume. I can tell that I've got a little gap there. I might not be missing quite as many as I thought, because there aren't that many of them to begin with. And then that's the end of that series. And we get on to Volume 2. I think I've got all of Volume 2. I don't think it actually lasted all that long. But I've got most of them, if I don't have all of them. It's looking like most of them at this point. Looks like there might be... Yeah, I think that's all of those. And then the third volume of Man-Thing, which is really short. It's a Christmas cover there. And then this is... That's still part of the same line. And then this is the fourth volume, which I think there's only like 4 issues of. I think that came out around the same time that the really not very good movie came out. And then there's Book of the Dead, which has Man-Thing in it. And then Max, Dead of Night, which is about Man-Thing. And then this one-shot here, which is about Man-Thing. And this other one-shot that has a Man-Thing story in it. So I've got, like, most Man-Thing things that I came across. I don't have first Man-Thing appearance because that's in Savage Tales, a number. I think it might just be in the first one. And that's a magazine. And I don't have any magazines, so I never bothered to pick that up. But I do have all these things that you just saw. So let's move on to something else. Alright, moving on. The stuff you just saw was in my first box of my 2 boxes. It's a short box, so it has all my key issues and Man-Thing in it. This is moving on to my long box, which has everything else in it. And I don't even remember what's all in here, but apparently it starts with Prelude to Deadpool Corps and Deadpool Corps. So I've got all of that particular little series. And I think that's the only Deadpool I ended up keeping, because it was the only thing I had a full run of. But I did rather enjoy the little run of Deadpool Corps that existed. So I figured I'd keep that around for future Deadpool Corps related purposes. So that's all of that. Next we had a short little section. I've got the 3 issues of Family Guy that they made. And then I've got some of the old Marvel Gargoyles comics. I don't think I've got all of them. It looks like I've got 1 through 6. I think there were more than that. But that looks to be what I have. I did not get the slave labor second series of Gargoyles comics that was actually meant to follow up the show, because they're a bit pricey nowadays, but I picked up the trades of those, and they're very good. Much better than these are. But I kept them because they're gargoyles, and I like gargoyles, so yeah. Then we've got Godzilla, King of Monsters, which is the old Marvel Godzilla run. I have all of them, and I've had most of them for, like, probably 15 years or something. I've had them for a long, long time. And it's just an old Godzilla comic. He fights other monsters, and there's just like a run where he fights the Fantastic Four, and it's just got some stuff in it about Godzilla. Back whenever he was a Marvel character. I think IDW is still putting out Godzilla stuff nowadays. It was a reasonably long-running series. I think it gets to 20-something around there. Looks like 24, I think. Yeah, it's the last issue. So, yeah, it's Godzilla. Next up, we've got a very short little division. I've got all the Hitmonkey issues that there were. And I've got this one-shot of Juggernaut, which is like the only Juggernaut comic that there was. And now we'll move on to a section that's actually got a lot of stuff in it. Alright, next up we have the IDW My Little Pony line, which I think I got up until pretty much I just stopped collecting comics, so I should have most of them unless I missed an issue here and there. I haven't read all of them. I read some of them. They seemed like they were written about as well as the show is, so if you like the show, you would probably like the comic books, I would imagine. But I've got quite a lot of those. There's actually more than I remembered there being. But There are quite a lot of them. It's probably one of the bigger stacks that's in this box. And there, what number is this? 13. So from the looks of it, there's at least like 20 or 30 something in here. That's 18. I may not have some of these double bagged. Yeah, that's why it's a bigger stack, because a lot of these are not double bagged. So it's like 20 something, it looks like. 20, 21, 22. I don't think I'm missing any issues. It doesn't look like I am. 23, 24. Okay, so I've got up to issue 25. I'm pretty sure they're still making them, or at least they were recently. First 25 is like a good, that's like a good cutting off point though. It's like a good milestone. Anyway, let's move on to something else. Next up we have Runaways. I kept these because Runaways is supposed to be good and I haven't read it yet. So, that's about as much reasoning as I have. I don't know what else to say because like I said, I haven't read it yet. But, I kept them because I had the whole first series. And then that changes over to Series 2, which I have the first 2 issues of. I don't think there were all that many of them, but if I like the first series, I might get the rest of the second series, maybe. Although it does require me to buy comic books, so, yeah. Alright, we got another little section here. This is Secret Squirrel. This is first comic book appearance of Secret Squirrel. It's something I just happen to have, and I don't know why it's not in my other box. It might be because it's Gold Age size, which means it may have not fit in that box. That's the only reason I can think of that I wouldn't have put it in there with everything else. And then I have the Tsunami Sentinel series. I don't think I have quite all of them, but I remember reading some of them, and it being something that I might have wanted to finish at some point. It looks like I might have... I think I might be missing an issue or two. But, yeah. Sentinels. Next, we have a little section of Spawn, just the amount of Spawn comics that I accrued. I never really specifically set out to get lots of them, but I ended up with enough that were worth keeping, and I do have, like, the first several issues, so I have first appearance of Spawn, and I think I've got a consistent run up until somewhere in the early issues. And I think I have, number 9, which is First Angela. Yeah, right there. And then, it looks like I've got a seamless run up until, let's see, there's 14, 15, up until 15, and then I've got 21, and then I've got the Batman and Spawn things. So, yeah. That is all of the Spawn that I have, which is not very much considering how much Spawn there is. But it is a little chunk of Spawn. The next section is the new 52 Static series, Static Shock, which I got all of because there were not very many of them. I have not read it yet, but it seemed like it would be cool, and I like Static Shock, so it's probably good, maybe. I don't know. I haven't read it, but I do have it, so there it is. Next up, we've got Tick. This is Tick number 1, first printing. This is the variant of number... I don't remember because it doesn't have the number on the cover. I think it's like 8 or something. But that's like a special variant that's just got the cover on it without anything else. It's weird. This is Tick number 100. There are not 100 issues of Tick. It's also got Invincible in it. And then I have a lot of holiday specials, Back to School special, Father's Day special, Halloween special, the Big Romantic Adventure, which is a Valentine's Day special, Mother's Day special, Big Summer Annual, Big Summer Fun special, Big Tax Time Terror. I have 3, I think, Big Yule Log specials, which are Christmas specials, and the Massive Summer Double Spectacle. So, yeah. Lots of Tick there. I don't have the first full series, which is unfortunate, but I've got 2 of them, and I've got the most important one, so that's good, right? Tick's cool. Tick's a very funny thing to read if you like big, blue, jumping men. Next up, we've got the Watchmen section. I have some of the original issues, but not quite all of them, I think. And then we've got I think I've got all the Before Watchmen stuff. So we've got Comedian, And then we've got the Dollar Bill one-shot, Dr. Manhattan, which is the only one I ever actually read any of. Minutemen. Is the Moloch thing just a one-shot? I think it is. No, there's two of them. There's two. Okay, so Moloch, Night Owl, Ozymandias, and another Ozymandias, another Ozymandias, another Ozymandias, big squid monster, and then we've got Rorschach, and Silk Spectre. So I'm pretty sure that I have all these. That looked like that was all of them. Next, and almost lastly, we have a big section of Thanos-related stuff. I have the first issue of Infinity Gauntlet. I have the trade, so I never bothered to buy the rest of them. Warlock and the Affinity Watch. I think I have all of that, or at least a reasonable section of it. I've got Infinity War, which I believe I've also got a pretty reasonable section of. And then I've got the Thanos series. It's Galactus. Which I think I read about half of. And it was pretty good, the half that I read. Thanos Imperative, which I remember reading all of. That has all the Cancerverse stuff in it. There's the pre-Thanos Imperative and post-Thanos Imperative issues. Thanos Quest. Thanos Rising, which I forgot I even had, so I have not read that. Here is Avengers Annual number 7, which was like a big Thanos story. This is Guardians of the Galaxy 25, the first run, which does not go with this stuff. I just kept it because it's a cool Galactus cover. And then we have the lead up into the Thanos Imperative issues of Guardians of the Galaxy. And a Marvel Now Guardians of the Galaxy number 1 that has Thanos on the front of it, and it's also like a cover swipe thing of the Days of Futures Past cover. And that is all Thanos stuff, and we've got one more little section to go. And then wrapping it up with Galactus, as everyone should, we have the Origin issue for Galactus, Supervillain Classics The Origin, which is also the first one of those. And then we've got the whole Galactus series, which is like 6 issues or something, of Galactus the Devourer, which is a cool little series as well. So, yeah, that is it. That is all the comic books that I have. That is not very many compared to how many I used to have. I've got a short box and a long box now, and I think I used to have at least 6 short boxes. I think more than that, maybe 8 short boxes in this long box. So I got rid of a lot of stuff that I just didn't care about. But I kept things that I wanted to read, or things that I especially liked, and my key issues. So, that's all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed watching me flip through comic books. So until next time, goodbye. Goodbye, hands. Hello, you've just watched one of my videos. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed my videos. If you didn't, run away and never return. Also, feel free to check out my other channels, Venom Raptor for all my variety gaming content, and VR Reviews for reviews of various action figures and collectibles. Thank you, and goodbye.